Your financial project is due today, so please give me that before you leave class. Test 3, again, non-cumulative, only covering material since the previous test, which is the financial math that we've talked about and fractals. It's just those two topics. As far as financial math goes, I know we've spent some time talking about when to use what formula, but I created this little flow chart to help you decide when to use which formula. So you have to decide, is it a savings or a loan? If it's a loan, you really only have one formula, right? If you're saving, and I already posted this on Moodle, so you could just print it out if you want. It's a PDF in Moodle. And I'm in the process of making a prettier one, but this is the info. If you're saving a little bit at a time, like you're making regular deposits into a bank account, this is the formula. If you're saving one chunk of money, you have two options, simple or compound interest. So you look for those keywords, simple or compound, right? And if it's simple interest, you use this formula, F equals P times 1 plus RT. And if it's compound interest, you have a choice of two more formulas. One if you're compounding n times per year, and another one if you're compounding continuously. So this could be a handy chart to bring with you to the test. And it's totally fine if you want to print this out and bring it with you. You can put anything else that you want on the back of it or something. This is on Moodle, yeah, so you don't need to copy it down if you want to go print it. All right, so in terms of finances, we discussed percentages. So that was sort of our first class, just to remind you how to deal with percentages. Simple interest, compound interest, consumer debt, including credit cards and installment loans, and savings with a fixed annuity. And then for fractals, you need to know how to construct the Koch snowflake and the Sierpinski triangle, and know about some of the properties of those things. Okay, so what is its perimeter, what is its area at certain steps and at the final result. And I also could give you a new fractal like your homework did and ask you to analyze it somehow, think about its perimeter, think about its area. I would be very, very clear. It would not be a complicated new fractal, and I would draw several iterations for you. Like your homework made you draw it yourself. I would draw several iterations for you and have you investigate its perimeter and or its area. And it wouldn't be as crazy as the ones in your homework. The sawtooth, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Okay, so for resources, you can use a calculator. You cannot use your phone calculator. I'll have some scientific calculators if you don't have one available. You can use the reference sheet on pages 3 and 4 of this packet. So let's take a quick look at what that is. So these are formula sheets, right? So these are all the financial formulas. And then the next page is fractal formulas regarding the number of sides at each step, the length of each side, the perimeter, and the area at various steps of the Koch snowflake and the Sierpinski gasket. So those are all the formulas we discovered. And then you might also want to bring this, right? This little flow chart to tell you when to use which formula. And in addition, you can bring one page of reference material that you create, anything you want to put on it, maybe some examples, just to things that will jog your memory and help you answer the questions on the test. Anything you want, front and back. It just has to be written or typed by you, right? So no photocopies. You have to actually create it. So try to get a good night's sleep. Show all your work and all your questions. The more work you show, even if it's wrong, the more credit I can give you. If you don't show any work and get it right, I will give you credit. But if you don't show any work and get it wrong, I will give you no credit, right? Because I can't tell what your process was. Pace yourself, though you'll have 2 hours, but it'll be a typical test like you've had all semester. Shouldn't take more than an hour. But you have 2 hours, so there'll be no rush. Written to be a 1-hour test, you'll have 2 hours. If you have any special requests, talk to me today. And as far as reading and class preparation, there isn't any because this is it. This is our last class. Consult the study guide for lots of good information. So the study guide is the last thing in your packet. This is a list of things that you should be able to do. So as you're studying, you might check these off. List of resources, and then the sample test problems are really key. If you can do these, you should be totally fine on this test. And I just want to show you quickly in Moodle, there is a playlist posted with solutions to all of these problems. So if you're working on these and you get stuck, you can go to the video and watch it being solved. All right, so we go into our class, and we have test 3 resources. And it says that the study guide for test 3 is at the end of packet 3. So you all have a copy of that, and there's a link to it right here. And then there's a playlist of test 3 sample problem solutions. And this is your financial formulas flowchart is in there that I posted this thing. It's in the test 3 resources folder. But that takes you to a playlist in YouTube where each problem is solved in a video. All right, so Norm is saving for his daughter's college tuition. I'm going to do the problem on the board, this first one, for people who are interested. He plans to save $150 per month. That is a little bit at a time, right? He's saving $150 per month. Those are multiple deposits over time. There's only one formula that deals with that, right? We look at this flow chart and we say, oh, he's saving money. So we go to our savings chart. He's saving a little bit at a time. Only one formula that allows us to do that. So it's F equals capital P times this stuff that has some little p's in it. Okay, so I'll write that formula down. Capital P times 1 plus little p to the capital T minus 1 over little p. Make sure I did that right. Yes, okay. And little p is your interest rate divided by 12, because this is monthly. So this is, little p is called your periodic interest rate. Because you're making monthly deposits, we need a monthly interest rate. Periodic interest rate is your interest rate divided by, in this case, 12, because you're making monthly deposits. Okay, so my APR is 7%, so I put a 0.07 divided by 12. And I get 0.0583 repeating. Oh, thank you. 2 zeros. All right, so now I plug in all the stuff that I have here. I want to know my future value. How much will be in this account in the future? So I'm looking for F. Capital P is your monthly payments of $150. And then I've got 1 plus little p, which is 1.00583. To the capital T, capital T is the total number of deposits. So he's doing this monthly for 10 years. That's 120 deposits. Minus 1 over 0.00583. Okay, so I'm just going to store this number in my calculator so that I don't cut off any decimals. If you don't have a store function or can't figure it out, just write down a lot of 3s. Just use like at least 6 3s as a number showing on my calculator. So I'm going to store this as the letter A. And then I'm going to, yeah? Okay. Then I'm going to add a 1 to it. Raise it to the 120th. Subtract 1. And then divide by 0.00583, which I stored as the letter A. Whoops. And I get 173, and then you have to multiply by the $150 times 150. So you get 25,962 and 72 cents. Did you round something? What did you round?
Definitely like
the little p. Yeah. So if you round stuff, you're going to be off. That's,
but
as long as you did the right procedure.
Relatively close. Like, I'm sorry, I'm $8. So yeah, if it's tested for like $8 off.
I might take a point, right? It's not a huge deal, but
Well, what if we show you that we rounded it within solving it, so then you can see why we got that? You know what I mean?
how about if you just don't round?
Never mind. I'll just use calculator.
Okay.